All right. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk with G. We have the locksmith joining us today, back after a long hiatus. Um, let's talk about the 49ers Lions game.
I'm back, baby. What do we want to talk about? There's so many places to start,
All
Gavin.
right. I got some topics. So first thing I want you to tell me your experience at the game. The first half
Okay.
for the second half.
So honestly, it was the most incredible, what's the word I'm looking for? The incredible like atmosphere in the let's start with the second half. Once we got going in the second half, it was a palpable avalanche of momentum. Like you could literally it was known we were gonna win. Like you could feel it in the air, especially when Ayuk made that catch. It's the loudest I've ever been or I've ever heard in any stadium. Lions fans got absolutely drowned out, and you could just feel the avalanche of momentum that could not be stopped. Like Lions fans just got quieter, Niners fans just got louder and louder. The sun was setting, and there's like this red hue in the sky, and it was just a beautiful day for football, all grass field. It was just unreal.
It looked like a lot of Lions fans in the stands.
I was hundreds. I want to bring this up with you. Like they had an unbelievable turnout. It was at least half. I feel like it was almost half Lions
That's
fans.
crazy.
The chants were their favorite chant was Jared Goff, just over and over. They love Brock Purdy when he threw that interception. They basically think he sucks. Like do it again, Brock. Um, yeah, but overall, really nice people. I had six Lions fans sitting behind me in the first half, and they were, oh my God, it was unbearable. I'm just sitting there like just staring forward. Like they scored in a minute, and you could just, they were
Four
going there.
plays.
They were literally giddy, just like, we're going to go to this. They're like, think they're literally talking about like Vegas hotels and halftime was just like a downer. It was just Journey's playing Don't Stop Believing. Everyone just wants to just, oh my God, leave the building. It's like, don't stop believing. All Niners fans are just face down. Yeah, it was, and then it all turned around. But experience of the game was awesome. Biggest takeaways: Detroit Lions fans are really travel really well. They
I
filled.
mean,
I've never
they've
seen
been
that.
saving up their budget for how many years for a playoff trip?
Yeah. Oh my God.
30 years? I don't know.
There was one funny line I told you about. It's like I was up pretty high and one of the Lions fans was walking up and like a Niners fan was trying to be nice, like, we need an elevator up here, you know? And the
Yeah.
Lions fan turns like, we have real jobs. We work hard, so we're good with walking. And I'm like, oh my God, shots fired.
True or not true? I don't know.
Um,
Kidding. That's what, well, that's Dan Campbell keeps saying that too. Like there's nobody working hard anywhere except for Detroit. Like
yeah, right. But yeah,
Tesla factory. Isn't
it,
Tesla? Tesla's in California, just like
yeah.
Detroit Motors.
But yeah, my voice is still gone, just screaming. I mean, it was crazy. Just high-fiving random strangers literally all the way out to the parking lot, fireworks going off. It was insane.
So the question is, are you going to the Super Bowl?
I don't I know we talked about deep pockets. I don't have that deep of pockets going. You're the Super Bowl goer between us. The question should be, are you going?
Only only if I get tickets for free.
For those who don't know, Sports with G hosts Govin over here went to the last Niners Super Bowl. So
That's how I was feeling like the Lions fans, start of the fourth quarter. Didn't work out.
dude,
Uh,
they were literally looking up hotels on Expedia behind me. I felt bad. People, little kids were crying, just
Good for
streaming
them.
tears,
Learn toughness early on.
just streaming tears. Like honestly, it was brutal. It was brutal. And they
I
don't like
think we should get
yeah,
into the first topic then,
okay.
which is is Dan Campbell an idiot or is Dan Campbell a moron?
So
Because
you want to go first?
yeah, because the decision making doesn't make any sense. So the people supporting and defending him are saying you have to continue doing what got you through the regular season and the playoffs.
My God.
That's like saying you make the same exact decision in every single circumstance without taking any context into play and without taking the situation into account. That's like saying you hit a driver every single shot on the golf course. No, but seriously, right? That's exactly basically what they're saying is like
Yeah.
you always do the same thing regardless of circumstance, because that's just who you are. But those fourth down calls, I don't even care. Like, sure, he could have caught it, but he might not have caught it. Whatever. You take the field goal to go up 3 possessions. And the dumbest thing about him going for the 2 4th down, first to take 17-point lead, not getting that field goal, and then to tie the game, not kicking the field goal, is that he's not even consistent with his take. Because at the end of the first half, when the Niners really were just god awful, and honest, and they would have scored a touchdown, but instead, fourth and I think he was on like 4 yard line. I don't remember exactly what yard line. He kicked a field goal there. So
was smart, in my opinion, there, right?
Sure, but people are defending his later 4th down, saying that's just who he is. But it wasn't who he was in the first half. So he didn't take his first, the whole first part of the season before the playoffs, that mentality into the first half. But then once clearly the momentum was shifting, right? And clearly you needed to do something to give your team like back into this game. And that is a 3 possession game is infinite times harder to defend than a 2 possession game, because I believe there was 6 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter. Just that fact of getting 3 possessions for the Niners, 3 possessions for the Lions that the Niners would need would take. Niners might run out of time, but instead, he's an idiot. All these analytics guys saying the decision was correct. You can't judge it based on results. They're the same analytics guy that said last time that the decision, when you're down by 2 touchdowns, you should go for 2 the first time. And then if you don't make it, go for 2. That doesn't make any sense, because if you take the extra point the first time, then you're guaranteed if you score a touchdown again, you could either win or tie. Whereas if you miss the 2-point conversion first touchdown, you're guaranteed a tie or lose. It makes I don't understand analytics. There's something called momentum. There's something called pressure. There's something called people being human. Josh Reynolds wouldn't have dropped those passes if there wasn't pressure on him, because he knew if he dropped that pass, Niners are going to gain momentum. Jahmyr Gibbs, probably rookie, he was put in a pressure situation by his coach. So Dan Campbell is a moron. The people defending the 4th down calls are idiots, and running the ball at the end of the game.
Yeah, that's where I was going. That was dumb for me. So the game's
that wasn't
over.
all that I'm almost done. Almost. This I've been thinking about this all day.
Go ahead.
First of all, they had it down to like the 5 yard line with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, something like that. They had 3 timeouts left. What they could have done, just kick the field goal, get the ball back no time would have gone. You know, Kyle isn't passing. He's just going to run it up the middle 3 times. We know Kyle Shanahan. And they would have had a better shot. But instead, he does the stupid run play, and somehow the Niners stopped their first run of the day. And Dan Campbell lost this game for the Lions. He is an idiot, and the players should be looking up at him in the locker room like, what's going on, bro? Just because like players say like they always want to go for it, you're the coach. You have to make smart decisions. So like, man.
So between he's an idiot or a moron, you're going idiot.
I'm going both, idiot and a moron.
So I will say in the stadium, a roaring chant of "Thank you, Dan! Thank you, Dan! Thank you, Dan!" Even the Lions fans were pissed, especially. So, which one do you think's worse? The one where he could have tied us essentially down 3 and he goes for it, or you thought that actually when they responded to our field goal, them going for it was worse?
Them going for it was worse because. So we're going into halftime. The Niners are down 17 points.
Yeah,
after the third quarter is gone, if you kick the field goal, they're still down 17 points. Nothing's changed. And psychologically, 17 points versus 14 points is gigantic difference. He let the Niners back in the game. There's no question.
Okay, so I 100% agree with you. It's hard for me even to play devil's advocate, but I will just because. So the Lions are averaging. But he didn't even run the ball. They're averaging at that point, on the first time he went for it, 7 yards a carry.
Oh, I thought it was 50 yards a carry. It felt like that.
7 yards a carry. So he runs the ball on 3rd down with a wide receiver. I'm not sure why he did that.
I didn't catch that like in real time. I rewatched the game today. I didn't catch that it was. Why wouldn't you run it with Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery?
He started freaking out.
The flea flicker. He did a flea flicker.
Did the flea flicker? Oh my god, dude! He started to get a little tight.
This is Ben Johnson though. This is not Dan Campbell.
So he goes, you know what? It's 4th and 2. We're on the road. And to their credit, they drop a perfect play. The Reynolds drops a ball right in the breadbasket. It's a 2-yard pass. But I mean, I can't even do it. He's an idiot. I'm not sure what to do. I was so happy when he was going for it. I was more shocked um by the you're down 3 and
Yeah.
you have a chance to tie the game and you're going.
What was it, like a 44-yard field goal? It wasn't like a
It was
crazy
a
field goal.
48-yard field goal, but it also like they didn't have like a yard to go. I think it was like 4th and almost 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's not an easy, but the Niners like deserve credit on that one. So basically they disguised basically man coverage, and the Lions wide receivers ran mesh routes, which are man coverage killers, but basically crossers. And then we actually dropped back into zone, and Jared Goff just panicked and threw it away.
Well, Armstead got some good pressure, but I can't let Dan Campbell off the hook. I mean, I just can't. Do you agree with me though that?
Okay, so I can't play devil's advocate. I thought in the moment I was there, I was in disbelief. I was in shock that.
But didn't you feel like it gave you hope when they went for 4th? It
Oh,
gave the
so
Niners like the Niners
as
are like, oh my god, this guy's letting us back in the game.
as they went for it, Steph was like videoing and showed me. I'm like, I literally yelled into the camera like, "What a fucking boo boo boo!" Can't believe he's just super happy. The guys behind me are just like, "Oh my god." And yeah, so I think that play lost the game because then you had the Ayuk miracle catch, and then you had the fumble, and then it was over. Once Ayuk caught the ball, I texted you. I'm like, "Here comes a turnover," because
Next play, it happened.
next play, dude. I don't know.
But I think it's a direct result of Dan Campbell's coaching decisions because like there's now pressure on the Lions because if you're up 17, there's no pressure. Now you're up 7. There's a lot of pressure.
So yeah, I'm just thinking like, man, I can't defend it. Because so they come out to actually stop us. We kick a field goal. He just comes back and kicks a field goal, goes back up 17. I think it deflates us. It's like, oh God, that
It's like we just wasted
7 minutes.
And
Yeah,
it's not even just that. It's the fact that there's so little time left in the game.
dude,
Like you can only do so much.
he's probably, if I had to like draft reasons of why Lions lost those decisions. And then yeah, I think the end of the game decision that to me is probably the worst one. Running the ball, you basically lose the game for yourself because now
Unless if you ran the ball and you had 2 plays called in the huddle, you line up quickly. But they didn't do that either. They called the timeout, and then you're relying on onside kick. For analytics people, you should know that you should never rely on an onside kick because it never works.
Dude, but if you're him, like you're looking at Reynolds, just like catch the blanket ball, man.
You're putting a guy
Catch the ball.
Put Amon-Ra St. Brown in that easy pass route, right?
Yeah.
But let's be honest. The Niners, we'll get into it, but like just on that quick, they were smart. They just had Ward follow him, right? So like, but my strategy against the Niners is you just always throw to whoever Ambry Thomas is guarding, and they did that.
Oh my God, I felt bad for him. He almost got picked. By the way, can't knock it down. Like somehow has to let the guy rip it from them.
But I mean, they probably deserved it after our helmet knock.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, I can't get over Dan Campbell, and I can't get people defending it.
No.
I mean, I just can't understand that. That's like saying there's no such thing called situational football.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing. What grade would you give Brock Purdy for that performance?
Dude, let's spend a minute on this. Where are we at on Brock Purdy? Like, I am like
all I know is audience. I get a text from Chuck just the day before the game, just like panicking, saying Brock sucks. Why are we talking like Brock's good? I'm getting so annoyed.
Dude.
I'm trying to hold myself back on the text messages. Tell me.
Dude, no, I don't. Okay, I like. Admittedly, I am like schizophrenic or whatever. I don't know. You're
dementia? You like have no
dementia?
memory?
I don't know. It's just like,
are you delusional or have memory?
No, it's not delusional. What's the one where you have multiple personalities? That's
I mean, you can
okay. Anyway, I mean, I don't think it's my fault. I've never seen a quarterback be so up and down. I've never seen this. Literally, he cannot play football one half. Two games in a row had under 40 QB rating in the first half. He literally is missing Ayuk by, I don't even know where he's throwing the ball. That interception was like, you should have seen me, dude. I'm like, I'm out. I'm just going to jump off the back.
I was upset at that first, but the ball did get hit.
And then all of a sudden in second half, he just turns into an absolute gamer and just when he needs to win, he wins. So I guess I'm wrong, but also can you just have a higher baseline and just not be so we don't have to get down 24/7? Can we just maybe, I don't know, play a little better in the first half? Like
So give
where
me
I'm
your
at on
grade.
Brock, where I'm at on Brock is, I mean, absolute gamer. Like the runs were insane. He made those out of nothing. Even that play to use check where he's like, oh, he's sacked. Oh, he's not. Oh, wait, he's wide open. Um,
The third
but
down conversion to Jennings, where he was like cross
what
his body.
what in the world's going on? So I think he basically shattered all the like he's just a game manager. Like I never said that, but I don't know how he looks so bad and so good, like in the same game. It's very strange, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, so where would you rank him in terms of the quarterback rankings?
Quarterback rankings, gosh, Lamar didn't do himself any favors. By the way, can go back real quick. I lock it down, not fraudulent yet. Locksmith called that one. I'm just saying on Lamar. I would say he's in the 6 to 10 range.
Okay.
6 to 10. I think the more I think about it, like the only ones you can say definitively better are Mahomes. I was gonna say Lamar Jackson, but I'll still say Lamar. Um, Allen, and who else we got? Herbert, maybe, probably. So there's 4 or 5 that are definitively better, and then you can start making arguments.
I mean, let's take Lamar and Josh Allen for a second. In 2 years starting, Brock Purdy has 4 playoff wins, right?
This is a team stat. So we're just say who's a better quarterback, or I don't
I
get
agree. What I'm saying though is that Brock Purdy, game manager, not game, he has a clutch gene that some of these other quarterbacks just don't have. It's like you remember like Robert Ory, right? Who knows? But he had the clutch gene. He would like make every game winning shot. I know as a Kings fan, right? Some people just have like this it factor that just no matter how it looks, they just win, right? And Brock, and the criticism of Brock has always been that it's all about his weapons and Kyle's designing plays. Yet in the second half of yesterday's game, none of those were good designs.
That's over.
For some reason, in the first half, they didn't even throw to George Kittle once. I don't understand.
I have that on my notes to talk about. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do my best go. I'm not gonna panic. I think the clutch factor, he's got some dog in him. He does not want to lose. He's more
DAWG.
He is more, yeah, he's more competitive than I even knew because he comes across a little bit as this like, yeah, like I hold football loosely. I'm a God loving. If I need to like bag groceries, I'll bag groceries, man. Whatever. But then you see him on the field, it's like that dude is more competitive than I understood. When he won, he like went absolutely nuts, like the damn Hulk flexing.
Well, that was interesting because I sent you this Brock Purdy Steve Young interview and I was super impressed by it. But you came out with like less confidence than ever in it.
Okay, well, just give some context. Give some context.
He says everything is because God decides. Like he doesn't. So he holds everything loosely, which I think might actually, in some ways, I understand your point. Like it doesn't feel like winning or losing affects him. But I think at the same time, that mentality helps him like forget all the crap that throws.
It is really interesting. I heard like a re-interview with Steve Young on that interview, and he's like, Steve Young's like, I don't even know what to say. And just for the audience, like basically Steve Young is like, how crazy is this journey for you, Brock? Like last pick, and Brock essentially says, it's God's plan and whatever God wants me to do and this and that. And then Steve Young's like, so you're not like, are you nervous? He's like, I'm pretty much not nervous at all because if God wants me to go do something else, I'll just do that. And my takeaway was like that could be seen as, and he's like, oh, I hold this loosely. So I don't, to me, it was like, I really don't care if I do that well here, or if God wants me to go bag groceries, then I'll do that. Where it's like you have people like Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes that are maniacal about preparing in football as their life. So it's good in the fact that he probably doesn't feel a lot of pressure because it's like, hey, whatever works out, I don't really care. And you play better that way. But my thinking was also just, man, like, are you taking it seriously at least? Because yeah, you got to care a little bit, Brock.
I think he cares. I think he just holds it a little bit loosely. But I mean, you could tell the rest of the team loves playing for Brock. I think he makes smart decisions. There's actually an interesting observation I had just rewatching this game today. is like I often think when the ball comes out of his hands, it's going to be like some super high overthrow because he doesn't have arm strength. So the arc of his passes is so different than when you're watching Mahomes or somebody. There was this out route to Kittle. It looked like
Yeah,
it was so high and looping,
Kittle route.
but he just has to throw it higher because he's short and he doesn't have arm strength. So he does like very different. So like I've come to appreciate Brock's game so much, and he's faster than I ever thought
Dude,
he
the
was.
running.
His running is good.
So I guess what I'm saying, Govin, is he's absolutely clutch. He's a baller when the game
Are you
matters.
trying to replace him as the 49ers quarterback?
No, there's no way. I mean, the fact that he single-handedly, like those scrambles, like whatever it was, 52 yards, just he's diving head
And
first,
getting out of sacks multiple times.
multiple times. I have a couple topics. Let me know you want me to insert
Okay,
them.
yeah, we gotta we're going
Okay,
to
I have a thing that I want to ask you about. Okay, so I feel that our whole, we do this every time, that our whole deferring and playing defense first and kicking off the ball the other team. Let's stop doing that. That used to work when we had a good defense and we can stop someone.
yeah.
It does not work when a team scores in a minute and 30 seconds on you and then you're behind. Or
I
the
was actually
Packers as well.
This is a
So
good topic.
why don't we just I honestly that has not worked in like 6 games. So great, we get to double up at half, but we're down 24-7 at half because they score immediately. We feel pressure. Should we run? Do we have the same scripted play? So I'm not sure that's the right call for us. Like in the Super Bowl, like I almost want to get the ball and score first.
I think
Uh,
your bigger point there is that the 49ers defense is trash.
Crash.
And I do not think Steve Wilkes should be back as defensive coordinator, regardless of the result of this year, because I have never in Kyle Shanahan, this is 7th year coaching, right? 6 years. Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans. You knew the defensive line was going to dominate. You just knew it, right? And you knew the linebacking core was going to dominate. You knew the cornerbacks were going to suck. This is just what it is, right? For some reason, Steve Wilkes has completely ruined our defensive line because I don't think his scheme works. We barely get any pressure. Like we have Armstead, Bosa, Young, and Hargrave. Hargrave, super disappointing. I don't think he's very good. He looks he looks like he needs to lose some weight. I'm going to be honest. I understand defensive tackles are big, but he looks kind of fat. And Bosa, I actually give my props to Bosa. I thought he played great.
Finally. One subtle thing I noticed with Bosa that I liked, he didn't do his shrug when he sacked him, because he knew we were getting our asses.
And he was pissed. Bosa was pissed because I think I think the player, like, there's no creativity with the pass rush. There's no, like, you remember the Alden Smith, Justin Smith, like little, like stunt. But I feel like the 49ers just rushed 4 straight ahead almost every time. And the one time they didn't was that Armstead Hargrave did I forgot what it's called, but they switched positions and they pressured Goff on the 4th down. So I think the answer to your question is that strategy has been great for the 49ers in previous years because their defense and their defensive game planning has been elite. But Steve Wilkes does not know how to game plan a defense. He makes adjustments, sure, but he makes adjustments after a whole halftime. Make it in the 2 weeks preparing for the game. I don't know. But like the defensive line, the defense is deplorable. The run defense,
Chase Young's run defense is just a disaster. He's not coming back either.
I don't think
the 3rd and 12 run where the dude trotted to the 1st down marker, like, oh my God.
Can you believe that the biggest injury was Cleveland Farrell? We miss him so much. I never would have imagined. I was like the whole time he was here and after the Young trade, I was like, why is Young only playing a few snaps? I get it. But to answer your question though, sorry, I got on a tangent about the defense, but that is the answer. The defense sucks. So yes, I think you got to start with the ball and put some pressure on the other team.
Like, let's get the ball. McCaffrey, Debo, go up 7, start feeling good. Right now, it's like they literally score every time. It's like, oh, the Packers are beating us. Interesting.
And it was the same game as the Packers game. The Packers just screwed up on their 3rd downs and near the red zone.
Unreal, man. But yeah, that's something. So all right. So you're in with me. So
I'm in with you. Take the ball, especially against Mahomes. Take the ball and score because you know he's going to score immediately.
He is, yeah. And then we're like, oh, great. Let's abandon the run game. And okay, now we turn it over. Okay, great. I'm feeling nervous. Oh my gosh. So
what's your next topic?
I've got a few. So I thought from my vantage point, one of the most like biggest differences between Brock and Jimmy are on plays when he actually gets sacked or doesn't make a decision. Um, I believe it was in the fourth quarter. We did a play action pass on first down, like on our own 5 yard line. And receivers were absolutely covered. And he just took a sack and we kicked a field goal. That play will never go down as seen as important or anything like that. But I saw him double clutch and I'm like, please don't throw it. Jimmy G throws a pick at the goal line. You remember Jimmy G's goal line pick
I
phase?
remember.
I was like, do not throw it. And he just tucked it and took a sack and kicked the field goal. I'm like, that's Brock right there. That's the difference. So I had that play noted down.
I actually was thought about that play too because you could see he was like gunning up to pass it, and if he
He
tried to pass
wanted
it,
to
it would have
play
been a
it.
strip sack. It
He's
would have
like,
been a strip sack.
oh.
So he even though it was blindside pressure, he felt it and he put it down. That saved their game basically because that would have been a strip sack.
Oh my God. I was cringing for turnover. Yeah, so I think that was it. We covered more of the most of the rest of them. I had Lions fans just we take a step back, like huge props to Lions fans. The first half was I felt like I was in an away game. Everyone was super nice. Like this dude in line at halftime, the bathroom. I'm like, well, this, talking to a Lions fan. He's like, flew with my son from, I picked him up in Dallas and we're so excited for this. And, like it's not over though. Like he's like, we don't win anything. So if anyone's going to choke, it's going to be us. I'm like, dude, shut up. You're up 24-7. He's like, there's a lot of game left. And right when we won, I felt for that guy and I saw his son like crying. And it's the first time I've ever felt bad almost. Like I felt bad for Lions fans. They were so gracious and nice, even in the loss.
I mean,
Um,
I can't believe how many people spend so much money to go to a game. Like families of like 4 or 6 will fly out, sit in the lower bowl tickets were I don't know over $1,000, right? Easy.
way, yeah, for
Or
sure.
like, but I have a couple other topics. So
Yeah,
basically, I kind of asked it what in that answer, but do you think Steve Wilkes should return as a defensive coordinator for the
no
Niners?
chance. No
No
way.
chance.
So if you look at the roster, isn't it the exact same roster pretty much defensively as last year, except we added pieces?
Yeah, we
Chase,
added Hargrave.
Chase Young, Hargrave, like Bosa's taking a step back. There's only one variable that's
Every
changed.
even Fred Warner doesn't look as good.
Fred Warner's okay. He had a lot of like total tackles and he had 12 or 13, but I mean they're like after 8 yards have happened on the ground.
Exactly.
So
And it seems like the defensive line, like I don't know what's different because I can't blame the D line coach because like he's been there forever. The
he
only thing I can
doesn't
think like
blitz.
it's like immediately somehow Javon Kinlaw is better right now than Javon Hargrave. He looks better.
We have a very tough time of like calling blitzes at the right time. I've noticed. Like I'm not a blitz expert, but we like just don't do it. I'm not sure. And then when we do, it's like at the end of the half when we go cover zero and we let Kirk Cousins score 58-yard touchdown.
I mean, they were
So
doing whatever they want on third down, 15, 19, 9, whatever it was. You can get I was like, it's guaranteed first down. So like they could do whatever they want on second down because they're going to convert third down.
every play is 6-7 yards. Every play. They converted a 2nd and 16, a 3rd and 18, a 3rd and 15.
Was it third and 12 run that they
Third and
converted?
12 run jogged to the first down marker.
Randy Gregory's terrible too. My God.
Jesus. But dude, Wilkes is interviewing for head coaching
I don't
jobs.
I don't I think he might be one of those guys who's a better leader of men than actual play caller.
Leader
Because the
of
thing about Wilkes is that looking at his resume, he's been coaching for a long time. You think he'd been calling plays a lot? I think he has 2 total seasons of play calling.
what are we gonna do with Patrick Mahomes? Jesus.
I don't
I
that's
let's celebrate victory
well,
Monday.
yeah, we'll have a preview episode
Yeah.
later. I'm very I'm very bearish on Wilkes. I don't think you can fire him after a Super Bowl season, but I'm worried about the Niners defense going forward. I think Kyle's worried. I think he knows that this is not working,
Yes.
but I don't know. Okay, next topic. What do you think of Kyle Shanahan's play calling yesterday?
Um I thought overall it was did you see something? I didn't to be honest with you, it wasn't remarkable. Pretty much the same as he normally does. Tried to go heavy in first half with CMC. The problem, and then play off that play action. The problem was CMC was getting stuffed for 2 or 3 yard runs.
Yeah.
Offensive line was getting no push, but I think Kyle kind of tried to stick to his usual plan of run, then play off the play action. But when you're in 3rd and 10s, it doesn't work very well. Overall, I'd say B plus. How about you?
Yeah, I have a couple issues with this play call. First, you come off watching the Chiefs game, and you see Kelsey getting targeted.
Okay, Kittle was one of my things. Where was he? I have no idea.
I don't understand why they don't just get him the ball. He's gonna get at least 6 yards every time, even if you pass it as a screen. I don't understand why they don't feature Kittle more. I get that he's a great blocker. I get it. But I mean, I'm watching Travis Kelsey, and I'm like, George Kittle could do that, but Kyle Shanahan doesn't dial up the plays for him. And in a half where you're struggling, and I didn't see enough Debo screens. I didn't see enough of that the first half. I didn't see enough easy completions. Like, also, why do we never call like a traditional screen pass? We do the wide receiver screens, but we never do like, because maybe it's just because whenever a team calls a screen against us, it's an automatic 15 yards. But like, there's just never an easy screen. I don't know. I just felt like when you're struggling, get your ball to George Kittle. I don't get it. Why he had his first catch like halfway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a couple when Brock did his little fake handoff thing to Debo running through, but it didn't go for many, and I think Kyle kind of got spooked. But again, you're saying we didn't have like many easy completions. It's because when you're backed up and you're 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, because McCaffrey's been stuffed, you don't. I mean, that option's off the table at that point, right?
No, I get that. I just feel like sometimes I don't know. There was one drive where I felt like he didn't run it on 1st down. I think it was what was it? I think it was when it was 14-0. The drive after that, I could be wrong, but he ran it. He passed it 1st down. Then he passed it again 2nd down. You have to pass it again 3rd down. McCaffrey didn't touch the ball, and there was 3 and out. And I don't know. Kyle frustrates me.
He still frustrates you
a little bit. A little bit.
I didn't notice it much, but it was unremarkable. But again, I was way up high, like trying to just.
You're using the binoculars. I get it.
Dude, I was just hands in the just like this. Just I can't watch this.
I'm watching Dan Campbell. I was like, thank God Kyle Shanahan was my head coach, because he would never do something so moronic. I thought his play calling was better than last week. I thought last week he was in shotgun so much. This week he was fine back under center using the play action, because the Niners are at their best when they're out of play action. So I thought that was a good. I mean, he's 7 years, 2 Super Bowls.
I mean, yeah.
What can you do?
We gotta win this one, though.
I think if the Niners fired him, there'd be 10 teams who would fire him and hire him within a minute. At least 10 teams, maybe more.
Dude, yeah. I gotta pass my. He's got a 500 record overall. Remember that phase I went through?
Yeah, you were a big hater.
I gotta be a little more loyal. Apparently, I just hate people. Love him.
Yeah, the day before NFC Championship game, 2nd-year quarterback. Is he even good? Why do we think he's good? He's terrible.
No, I just said everyone that thinks he's a top 5. You know, I can't say he's got that clutch gene. I got that clutch.
Got the clutch gene. And next topic I had is, what do you think the Niners, based on what you're seeing today? We'll have a preview episode, but based on what you're saying, you already mentioned take the ball to start the game. What else do you think like needs to change for them to have a better like chance at the Super Bowl? Because
they need to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes.
And obviously the way they've been trying to get pressure all year hasn't worked.
They need to figure it out. They can't just sit back and cover 2 and rush 4. Travis Kelsey's going to have 9,000 yards. Taylor Swift's going to be on the field at halftime.
She's going to be singing at halftime, even though she's not scheduled.
Singing, even though she's not there. They're going to propose after the game. It's going to be a disaster. That's the first thing, is just please scheme some pressure up.
Here's my idea for that.
Nickel blitzes. I don't even care.
My idea for that game, for what you're saying is your guy, MVP Ward, all game long on Travis Kelsey. I don't care about anybody else but Travis Kelsey. I honestly think Ward would be I know he's a little bit smaller, but he plays great against big guys.
Yep.
I think you play him one-on-one the whole game. Follow Travis Kelsey.
I love that. So I think what you do is make their horrible wide receivers beat us. If they beat us, they beat us. And get pressure on Mahomes however you can, and put Ward one-on-one you're saying the whole game, or what?
I mean, I think you have him follow Travis Kelce. You don't need
Yeah.
Ward against Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Rushy Rice or
Right.
anybody else.
I mean, dude, we have to do one. I like the matchup. They didn't look too good. They
They
didn't look.
didn't. They didn't.
They don't look too good, man. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Oh man.
We'll get into more of that, but
What
that's
else
my
needs to happen? What else needs to happen is not a slow start, please, for the love of God.
take the ball, like you're saying.
Take the ball and just give it to Christian McCaffrey. Remember when he had a 70-yard touchdown run on the first play of a game this year? Let's do that. Or we can just, get gashed and be down 7-0 before
Yeah,
blink of an eye. So
that would be. I mean, that game. I honestly couldn't believe the Niners pulled that off.
I'll just leave us with this. Like, I'm not a religious person, but I might be a Christ believer now because
of the Purdy's.
I might jump into Brock's parish. I cannot believe we won that game.
You were like sitting that first half, this is the biggest waste of money of my life.
Dude,
and then at the end of the game, you're like, this is the best money I've ever spent.
I cannot effing believe we won that game. And I'll just tell you, it all turned when IU caught that pass. Just unreal.
What'd you think of that? Did you think there was the cornerback slowed him down? Or
So
was it just
from my vantage point, by the way, speaking of just I'm in the upper deck, but literally Purdy overthrew that by like 8 yards.
Okay.
By the way, that should have been a pick. It hit the corner in the face. No, like I thought the corner's making a play on the ball, to be honest, and they basically jumped up into each other. But I have no idea how he caught that. And then I also didn't know he got touched from where I was. Looked like he was clean.
He got touched like barely.
Yeah. So when he caught that touchdown fumble, like the avalanche was just it was over. Like I would have bet the house we were winning that game.
The last thing, we're running out of time here, but the last thing, the offensive line was in the first half was atrocious.
Jesus.
Like the pressure was immediate. I don't know what they can do because Chris Jones is just going to destroy the interior of that line.
Yeah,
they got to figure that out.
So you're asking why Kittle's not involved? It's because he's back. He needs to stick in and block.
Charlie Werner there or something. I don't know.
Jeez. Yeah, like Brockett just got absolutely smoked. And there's one pass they completed where it's just like his arm only got halfway forward.
The Debo one, right? That was a great pass. But I mean,
Like,
Debo being back was the other game changer. Debo, his energy on the field and his presence, game changer. Like they struggled.
Can we see a little more Debo in the Chiefs game? Like force him the ball. It should be Debo McCaffrey. Like
that's exactly what happened in the Super Bowl. They didn't give him the ball in the second half.
Yeah.
Remember the first half? He was dominating. They didn't get him the ball. It was very frustrating.
I can't believe
we're running out of time on our free Zoom that this high-end production uses. But we'll be back previewing the game. I actually have a special UCLA podcast coming up later this week with another UCLA guest. So tune in for that. We'll talk a lot of crap about Mick Cronin and Chip Kelly on that one. But for now, thanks everybody for listening.